Hello everyone. Welcome to your English listening practice. Today, I'm going to share a powerful story about one simple lesson. Never wait for the perfect moment. These were the first words my father ever told me that truly changed the way I looked at life. When I heard them, I stopped and thought deeply. I realized how much time I had spent waiting for the right time instead of taking action. I was sitting at his table, papers spread everywhere, rustling, shuffling, 42 pages of a business plan I had written over 11 months. 11 months, and I had shown it to no one. My father sat down slowly. His chair creaked. He looked at the papers. Then he looked at me. He said, "If you wait for the perfect moment, you will be waiting for the rest of your life." I opened my mouth to argue. He raised one hand, quietly, gently, and said, "Let me tell you a story." In a quiet town near a river, there lived a young man named Elias. He was not like others. He could look at a broken wall and see beauty in the cracks. He could sit beside a window on a rainy evening, listen to the drops tapping on the glass, tap, 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 and an hour later draw every drop from memory. He was gifted. Everyone who saw his work felt it. Even his mother once held one of his sketches up to the window light. She said nothing for a full minute. In their house, that meant everything. But Elias never shared his work. Not once. Every drawing, every painting, every careful study of light and shadow, one by one. He folded them and placed them into a wide dark drawer beneath his desk, sliding it shut each time. He told himself, "Someday I will share it, someday when I have a proper studio, someday when I have better supplies, someday when I am truly ready." But that someday never came. Every morning, the alarm rang, beep, beep, beep. He got up, ironed his shirt, walked to a job he hated, filing papers, stamping documents, thud, 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 watching the clock tick, going home, sleeping, repeating. He saved money, not for art, not for a studio, but to feel safe, to feel like he was preparing, to have a reason to say, "Not yet." He dreamed of galleries. He dreamed of his name on a wall. He dreamed of people standing in silence before something he created. But he never picked up a brush to finish a single canvas. One autumn morning, walking to work, he heard something, a soft, steady scraping sound. Scrape, scrape, scrape. He turned. On the side of the road sat an old man, carving a bird from a small piece of wood. His hands were rough and weathered. His tools were old, their edges worn smooth. But the bird taking shape in his hands, it was extraordinary. The wings had tension in them. You almost believed it would fly the moment he set it down. Elias stopped walking. He watched. Then slowly, he crouched down beside the old man. He asked, "How did you learn to do this? You have no studio, no proper equipment." The old man did not look up right away. Scrape, scrape. Then he paused. He looked at Elias with calm, bright eyes. He said, "I started 40 years ago, with a piece of scrap wood my neighbor threw out, and a dull knife I found at the bottom of a drawer." Elias blinked. He said, "But your work, it is extraordinary." The old man turned the bird slowly in his hands. He said, "The skill did not come from waiting until I had better tools. It did not come from planning. Came from the doing, from 40 years of cuts and mistakes and things that looked wrong and things I slowly fixed." He set the knife down with a soft clunk. Then he said, "The wood does not care if you are ready. It only responds to the blade." Elias looked at his own hands, soft, smooth, empty, the hands of someone who had been waiting. He asked one last question. Very quietly, he said, "What if it is not good enough?" The old man looked at him for a long moment. The wind moved through the trees. Leaves rustled softly overhead. He said, "Good enough for what? It does not need to be perfect. It only needs to exist." That night, Elias came home and stood in the dark for a long time. No lights, just the sound of his own breathing. He thought about his drawer, and he understood something for the first time. The drawer was not a safe place for his art. It was a hiding place for his fear. He walked across the room. He gripped the drawer handle. He pulled it open. Creak. Dozens of sketches. Old ones, edges yellowed. Newer ones still crisp. All of them real. All of them good. He spread them across the kitchen table. He had no studio, so he cleared a corner of the kitchen. Chairs scraping across the floor. He had no expensive paints, so he found his old pencils at the back of a shelf, rolled them between his fingers. He sat down. He pressed pencil to paper, made the first mark. It was shaky, imperfect, nothing like what he had imagined in his head for years, but it was real, and real was everything. He kept going. Some nights the work was bad. Crumple, into the bin, start again. Some nights worse, but he kept going. He shared his work little by little, first with a neighbor, then online, then at a small market stall. People stopped. They looked. They did not gasp or shout. They went quiet, and quiet, he learned, was the best response. He improved not because he was perfect, but because he kept showing up, night after night, in a small kitchen, with old pencils and quiet determination. Years passed. Elias became known, not famous, but known. People who owned his work said they could not explain why they loved it, only that looking at it felt like being understood. That was better than perfection. My father stopped talking. He picked up his chai, cold now. He took a slow sip anyway. I looked at my 42 pages sitting on the table. All that planning, all that waiting, not one email sent. My father said softly, "Elias did not become a master because he was perfect. He became a master because he was brave enough to start before he was ready." He tapped my papers once. Then he said, "Life doesn't change when you finally have everything figured out. It changes the moment you decide that starting matters more than being ready." He paused. The room was silent. Then he said, "Don't let your potential die in a drawer. Take the first step, even if it's small, even if you're afraid." That night, I opened my laptop. I wrote 2 simple paragraphs, a little rough, far from perfect. I took one last look. Then I hit send. 3 days later, I got a reply. 2 weeks later, I had a meeting. It wasn't a yes, but it was a chance. And that chance changed everything. The carver's knife was dull. The studio was a corner of the kitchen. The email was only 2 paragraphs. None of it was perfect. Every bit of it was enough. Do not wait for the perfect moment. Open your drawer. Make your first mark. Hit send. The sound you are waiting for is not a signal that you are ready. It is the sound of you beginning. If this story stayed with you, please like and subscribe. Every story we tell is made for someone who needed to hear it today.